I'm Alex. I'm an initial designer, and I worked on the Draenei minion type.
Draenei.
Did I say it wrong?
Yeah.
I'm Alex. I'm an initial designer, and I worked on iterating on the Draenei minion type.
My name's Cora. I'm the initial design lead, and I oversee the production of Draenei.
I'm Ben. I'm also an initial designer, and I made a lot of the Draenei cards.
The light will guide us.
Welcome to a behind-the-scenes roundtable talking about the development of the Draenei minion type.
So Draenei are a new minion type. They are inhabiting the Great Dark Beyond, looking for their new home, going from planet to planet, running from the Burning Legion. A lot of their mechanics are featured on future-focused gameplay, including their key minion hook, which allows them to impact the next Draenei that you play.
The Draenei are so integral to the story that we're telling here in the Great Dark Beyond that it felt like the right time to come up with some mechanics and gameplay associated with that race and to make a new minion type in Hearthstone.
Well, I was one of the designers who sort of iterated a lot on the mechanic. At first, we had many different sort of ideas of like, maybe it's a keyword, maybe it's a cycle of cards that sort of impact the next one that you play. But we said like, hey, this is pretty cool. Let's expand it to a whole minion type, and sort of went through that iteration process, going step by step.
Yeah, I made a lot of the individual designs. So what if a Draenei gave the next Draenei you play a death rattle, or what if it gave it a new aura that it could affect other minions with? Draenei give you an immediate board impact. A lot of minion types want to be played with other minions of their type, like mechs or beasts. But if you get 3 Draenei in your hand, you suddenly have a really interesting question of what order do I want to have these effects apply?
If you want a Draenei deck that's more aggressive, that's all about attacking, you can make effects that fit that. We have that for Warrior. If you want one that's more spell focused or a little bit greedier, we can do that too.
I'm personally really excited because Draenei is something that's relatively unexplored in Hearthstone. And there's a lot of sweet characters that we just haven't used before, like Akama is going to be really interesting to see, and Nabundo.
I'm really excited to see Velen come back.
Yes.
One of the OGs. It's got a really cool effect.
I'm really excited for players to see the fireworks. The first time they have Velen go off and they've been playing Draenei the whole game, and they're like, I wonder what's going to happen. And then it dies, and they're like, that was a lot better than I expected.
Turns out a lot happened.
Yeah.
The Draenei operate differently based on the different classes. I think even though they're one minion type, Draenei and Warrior versus Draenei and Shaman, they're going to play very differently. And so I think that's really interesting.
I'm really excited for people to play with the crewmates in Demon Hunter, led by Deirdre, the rebel. And the first time that people summon all 7 crewmates onto their board at once, they will understand what I'm talking about. I'm also really excited about Exarch Maladar, the first card that lets you pay corpses instead of mana for a card.
And Exarch Maladar lets any card cost corpses, not just Draenei. So really excited to see what players do.
Yeah, some interesting deck building there.
There are so many characters that we just didn't get to show off for such a long time. And players have been asking us where are these characters? Where is Kil'jaeden? Where is Archimonde? With the Draenei, we're giving them a suite of characters wow, here they are. Now I'm really happy for players to get to see that.
Yeah, it's such a kind of dark and tragic story. The Draenei in general having to travel through space to find their new home. There's so much weight to it. Taking something like that on, you really want to do it justice. And so obviously having access to all of those incredible characters means that we've got a really solid foundation to work from, and then it's just a matter of sort of rising to the occasion and making gameplay for them in Hearthstone that feels appropriate for the weight that their stories carry in World of Warcraft.
I'm really proud of the way that each class explores a different aspect of the Draenei. The mages are led by Exarch Hataru, who's the leader of the Artificers, and they're all about inventing new things that'll help them escape the Burning Legion and fight back against them. They have some really cool combos that only the Artificers could come up with.
There's a lot you can do with that. I'm very excited to see the combos people are going to pull off.
Being able to look back at the last 10 years and say, what was good for the time but maybe wouldn't serve us now versus, what can we actually incorporate that can help to push us forward even further? It's how can we best sort of marry the two? And I think that Draenei are a really good example of that. Thank you so much for going on this journey with us, and we hope you have a great time exploring the Great Dark Beyond.